My impression has been that European information professionals aren't battling quite as much to be seen as professionals. Our biggest competition is that guy down the hall. That's a great question. I sometimes ask myself that. I started out doing business research for business professionals that didn't have internal libraries. And I'd say maybe half of my work is still involved in just business research of all kinds. And then it's also built into doing public speaking for conferences. And I write white papers and lead generation materials for vendors who are, particularly vendors in the information industry, who are trying to reach out to librarians and information professionals. I do a number of webinars, but also just writing a short paper about a topic. So I just finished one on artificial intelligence and information professionals, one before that on communicating the return on investment of information services most effectively. So it's topics that are relevant to information professionals. I guess I'm not sure if there's a stronger community in one place or the other. There's just more of us in the United States, and so we tend to we work together and collaborate and that sort of thing. And so in that sense, I think the United States has a culture that has exposed people more to working as an entrepreneur. And so I think for a lot of American independent information professionals, they think that way. In general, I would say my impression has been that European information professionals aren't battling quite as much to be seen as professionals. And I think in the United States, I hear an awful lot of librarians just saying, no one takes us seriously, we're fighting for our existence, not just for a stronger budget, but just to be there at all. So I think that there's information professionals in the U.S., my sense is they feel more threatened with their jobs than in Europe. I think here people are actually focusing on getting their work done strategically, not about surviving. Big difference.
Yeah.
Everywhere, yes. I mean, to me, that's just what Google has done, is it's taught everybody that research just means Googling it. And I don't know, the word research has been completely devalued in the United States. In fact, I don't use that word to say what I do outside of, our own community, because in the United States, you say research, and it just means you Googled it. I mean, there's really, truly no understanding of the depth involved. So it's not just do it yourself, it's do it yourself badly. That is so true, because this is funny. I remember, I've spoken about communicating the value of information professionals for 20 years. And I remember I used to say, our biggest competition is that guy down the hall that everybody calls. And I don't say that anymore.
Mr. Google.
Yeah, well, that's right. Before there was a Google, that's true. But now I don't even say that that's our threat. Nobody goes down the hall to ask anybody anymore. They just go, in fact, I think it's not even that they Google anymore, they go to social media. That's true, but I also think we are sort of coming around because people are asking in social media rather than on Google. And so they put a query out to their friends and say, do you know who knows something about this? That's a big difference,
Yeah.
and I think that's just a matter of time, because I remember we used to see that in the United States. There was organizations didn't know how to handle social media externally, talking to their customers, or having social media within having their employees using it, and that's just gone away. I think, at least in America, companies have just thrown their hands up, and everyone has a mobile, and so you can't stop people from bringing social media into the workplace. And I think that's sooner or later, every organization is going to realize that, they've lost control of that. Well, yes, absolutely. Oh, I completely agree. I would bring LinkedIn more into social media, especially with the content, with all the posts that people put. To me, LinkedIn is like Facebook for grown-ups. It really, it's the same. It's not as ubiquitous, obviously, but people will go on to LinkedIn and say, I'm looking for someone who knows such and such. My impression has been that European information professionals aren't battling quite as much to be seen as professionals. Our biggest competition is that guy down the hall.